I sat here for around 30 minutes, trying to come up with some kind of clever way of starting this episode, but my mind is very distracted and I'll explain in a bit why. But for now, let's talk about what I've been up to. I started to venture beyond 10s this week and did my first plus 11 keys. Some went very well, and others not so much. I even attempted my first ever plus 12. And not a week can go by without something stupid happening to me in a key.
3, 2, 1.
What? But it went past me! Oh, come on, Blizzard, what is this shit?
Oh, Lord. Again.
Summer.
Again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit.
Hi, my name is Saloon, and I usually make videos about WoW transmog and character customization, but I also enjoy Mythic Plus, as I like to set myself personal goals such as rolling Holy Paladin, a spec I never played before, and reach 3000 IO score, which I've also never done previously, so be part of my journey as I document all my successes and failures, so I can inspire others to try as well, because if I can do it, so can you. Welcome back to episode 6. If you're new to the series, thank you for tuning in. You'll find a playlist for the previous episodes at the end of the video or in the description. Last week I timed all 10s and reached 660 item level. So this week is quite exciting, as I have never gone beyond plus 10s before. So naturally for me this came with a lot of anxiety. So far I've only felt it a little bit before keys I find scary like Floodgate or Priory, but I'm in uncharted territory. While I was working up some courage, I did some plus 6 Dark Frame crafts for rune crests and had to farm trinkets. I was looking for either the carved Blaziken wax trinket, which procs versatility, or the Burin of the Candle King that gives an absorb shield to someone on use. I got the Burin, as you can see it on my bar, and upgraded my gear to 663. As you may have guessed already, the first dungeon was Rookery plus 11. And you know the rule by now, that the first keys of the week are always cursed. This one is no exception. In the room of the first boss, we didn't finish off this little bastard burp before moving on to the next flashback, and it flies into the middle.
And you know what time it is? Disco time!
And of course it pulls the first boss. I could have healed through this possibly if I used cooldowns, but with 2 people already dead, there was no point, so we wiped quickly. The tank took the blame, but as I was watching back this footage, I am 100% certain that it was the unfinished Stormrook flying into the middle. The series of unfortunate events did not stop there. On the first boss, the affix spawned in at the worst possible time, in a really awful spot as well, which confused the shaman and the druid I think, so they both died. The shaman had Ankh and we picked the druid up again, so thankfully we finished off the boss. Afterwards downstairs, as the tank pulls big, I get again one of those dumb screen freezes. So the tank dies. Luckily he spawned right next to us, but the shaman fell as well. This was unfortunately 100% on me. I saw he had defensive running, so he just needed some heals, which I couldn't provide because of the annoying screen freeze. At this point I kind of lost hope of timing this key, but actually we made a huge comeback, defeating the second boss with no issues. And the third one as well. with 3.5 minutes left. It just really goes to show that it's not always over when it looks bad. I bet many people would have left after this rocky start, but I'm glad everyone stayed. So that's our first plus 11 timed. The next dungeon was Motherload 11. And it took us 25 minutes to find a tank for this dungeon, which felt like an eternity for me. At the beginning, the tank had a skip included in this route, which I wasn't quite prepared for. I knew it existed by pure coincidence, seeing it in a video the night before, but basically, you jump over the fence, skipping a peacekeeper, and then skipping more stuff on the side. These jumping puzzles and ledges in WoW are my mortal enemies. I suck at these so badly, it boils my blood every time people want to skip the stuff this way. But since then I figured out how to do this easily and prefer to do it that way actually. So I'm gonna show you in case you see people wanting to do this in your dungeon and you struggle. The idea is to jump on these boxes, then instead of jumping forward, you kind of want to jump to the side a little bit, where you will land on an invisible ledge. And that's it. Ever since I learned this, honestly, this is my preferred route through this dungeon. Spoiler alert, this key is gonna go well. So, I want to use this time to elaborate a bit more on why my mind is distracted that I mentioned at the beginning. So, unfortunately, my guild's raid team has disbanded, and I took it a bit hard. If you are hoping for some juicy drama, put your popcorns away, cause I have to disappoint you. But basically, our raid/guild leader has a lot of good things going well for him IRL, so he's a lot busier and can't commit to be a guild and a raid leader anymore. We had nobody who could fill his shoes, so that's it. I'm really happy for him, don't get me wrong. But I'm also disappointed. We were a heroic raiding guild and had to stop before killing Gallivix even. I can't express enough how gutted I am about this. I've been here for almost 2 years and it just ticked all the boxes, you know. My goals aligned perfectly well with the guild, I was happy here, I got to know some awesome people, had fun raid nights and banter, and it's just over now. So now I'll have to look for a new guild if I want to raid, and I hate joining a new guild. It's such a hassle to find one that suits your needs, and then I'm a massive introvert as well, so it takes me months to get comfortable with everyone, and of course my main is a BM hunter. Yes, I'm a filthy BM enjoyer, and who needs those? There are like 3 in every guild, and my logs are not stellar either, so I'm not even sure if I want to bother looking for season 2 at this point, to be honest. As a result, I've been feeling a bit down. However, I've been really enjoying making videos for you guys, whether it's transmog videos or the Holy Paladin series, and afterwards 0 to hero on another class and spec. This is what keeps me going in WoW at the moment. Anyway, this Motherload went well. At the end, the tank asked us about the route. At the time I told him it's risky in pugs, but I changed my mind since then. It was perfect. Next was Workshop 11. Can you guess who dies first? Yes, it's yours truly, as I'm trying to go for an interrupt and I didn't look under me, so I die to a circle on the floor. Embarrassing, to say the least. Then the demon hunter dives into the tank mechanic. On the dog boss, the tank peaked too early, so he took a tick of flame vent, and because he was LOSing me, I couldn't lay on hands on him.
3, 2, 1.
The third boss, in the last 30%, kinda goes to shit. Oof, yikes. We have a Warlock in our group, and you know what that means. Warlock gate shenanigans. That of course must go wrong. The shaman couldn't use the gate, and this has happened to me as well on another character. Like, no matter how much I clicked like a lunatic on it, it just wouldn't transfer me. But as a result, he dies, and we had to foreman the trash and summon him. On the last boss, the tank died somehow, and then so does our timer. Eventually I died as well, but it was kind of over already anyway. I could have played this key better for sure. The next destination is Theater of Pain, which I absolutely grew to loathe. In this run, we have a brewmaster, a rare species that nowadays you'll only see in national parks. A monk means a skip at the start, which will end up in an absolute disaster. So he does the classic paralyze and monk ring combo, so we can skip those 3 ads, but somehow we get into combat with it. The mage warns us, but I don't see anything running to us yet. We spend a good portion of the fight absolutely fine, and then see the first 3 mobs sprinting at us halfway through, and then the FX spawning in as well. It just became a colossal clusterfuck. I had no clue what was going on. I combat as the hunter in hopes of being able to recover, but I couldn't keep the group alive. The tank goes down, so we wipe.
Winter.
On the second attempt, the Warlock dies to the frontal, and because we have no combat as available, we had to foreman the rest of this boss, which cost us precious time. But the dream of timing this wasn't over, until this happens.
Three, two, one.
What?
Five.
But it went past me! Oh, come on, Blizzard, what is this shit? I was incredibly tilted because this made the key impossible to time now. It annoyed me so greatly that my death contributed so heavily to the failure of this dungeon. And even so, we missed the timer only by 40 seconds. Anyway, I ran it back of course, and midway through the key I suggested a skip that I've seen in several videos people make, but I'm not the tank, and I didn't really think about the consequences of the skip, so we killed the last boss, and of course we are missing percentage, and I started to feel physically sick IRL. I started shaking and everything that we won't time this key because I suggested a skip that we weren't prepared for. So we go down, and I had no clue where we're going, how are we doing this, the timer is ticking down fast, so we take these crappy portals to the middle that feel like take decades to get through, but we managed to time the dungeon, and I was so relieved, Jesus Christ. I'll never make route suggestions ever again, that's for sure. After this, I logged off, and a few days later, I crafted myself a necklace, because I still had a champion neck, so I thought I might as well. First dungeon of the day was Cinder 11. I'm not sure why, but I really struggled healing this tank, and I can see he is using defensives and everything, but I guess it's just a tough pack, I'm honestly not sure. These pools were eating up my mana like crazy, because I fell into a bit of a panic mode, which meant I'm not standing in melee and start casting holy lights to keep the tank topped up at all times, because I know if he dies, it's a full wipe. I usually never run out of mana. I don't even really drop low unless something isn't right. But yeah, standing in rage like this and casting Holy Light is a big no-no. I only do it for if for whatever reason I can't stand in melee. Then, before the boss, I had a chance to sit down and drink, but I didn't, which was a bad decision on my part. Luckily, I had mana potions, which I had to use for now for the first time ever, and Blessing of Winter was coming up, which was another extra source of mana. I actually didn't had the chance to drink mana at all until the third boss.
Mommy milkers, big mommy milkers, big huge milkers, and huge big milkies.
On the last boss, I really loved the teamwork again during the intermission, where I pressed Aura Mastery, the warrior uses Shout, and everyone has defensives running, so we barely get tickled by the boss. And these are honestly the best moments for me. And then, something happened I never expected, and didn't happen during this series before. The DPS warrior and the hunter were together, and they invited me back for a theater plus 12. Some of you might frown on me, but I took this opportunity because I thought, well, why not? I don't know these guys, we are not friends or anything, we are still pugs to each other at the end of the day. So I returned to Theater of Pain for a third time this week, and I forgot to press record for the first part of the dungeon. I'm sorry. We vibed on the first boss because some of us, and I mean me of course, stacked accidentally on the warrior and killed each other with searing death mechanic, which is really bad on a 12. Because in case you didn't know, after 12s, there is no more weekly affix. We got Xalatas Gaio instead, which was Challenger's Peril in Season 1, where 15 seconds will be taken away from the timer with each death. We are on the last boss. We pull it with less than 4 minutes left. Plenty of time for the boss, especially with Lust halfway through, right? Ha! Wrong! Dumbass forgot to press Aura Mastery, and the Paladin and the Warrior gets one shot as a result. I was so upset with myself, I felt like I threw away my success at the first plus 12. Then I got killed by the frontal that's facing away from me, and I was kind of done there mentally. We finally killed the last boss and I just wanted to get out of there ASAP. I even logged off for the day. The next day I had only time for one dungeon, which was another workshop. We had a couple deaths at the start, and I almost inspected the floor as well if it wasn't for Divine Shield. Otherwise, nothing else interesting happened during this key, and it went really well. The next day was Wednesday, which means Vault Day here in the EU, and I didn't really get anything exciting. Had the Crit Mastering ring from top, which isn't great for me, Crit Mastery gloves, and Crit Mastery legs. I took the legs and catalyzed it, and upgraded everything I could to reach 665 item level. Now, normally this is the part where I show my character's gear and score progress, but I'm a scuffed YouTuber and I forgot to record it, and I can't do it now because I progressed further since then. So here are my amazing painting skills. I timed 5 plus 11 dungeons, depleted 2, and a plus 12. So the total score is 2665. Next week I'll try to finish off the remaining 11s and start hopefully timing 12s as well. If you made it this far, I thank you all very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment, like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching. I'll catch you all next time. Bye bye!